Are Leo Jaymz guitars just as good as Firefly? Hey everybody, Jace Allen here. Welcome back to the channel. So, Average Joe's Gear Talk did a review on the Leo Jaymz Popcaster. Kind of an interesting name for a guitar. And this is Leo Jaymz' sort of new version of the Telecaster style guitar. If you check out their listing on Amazon, sort of their old style Telecaster style guitar is this one here for $99.99. It features just a plain maple neck, but it's got that sort of yellow vintage tint to it. And then it's got this sort of rather hideous looking headstock on it. I don't know what it is about the hook style headstocks that just really rubs me the wrong way. But that one is kind of funny looking. This one has the mahogany body. So then you'll see that there are some improvements to this particular guitar with the new one, the Popcaster. And that's this here. This is the Popcaster Telecaster style guitar. Now these are retailing for $149.99. And let's talk about some improvements that they've made. First of all, the headstock is much improved. You get locking tuners with this particular guitar. It's a roasted maple neck, and so you get a really nice satin roasted finish on it. And now this one is boasting El Nico 5 pickups, and we'll talk about those here in a second. And of course the stainless steel ball end frets. Everybody seems to have those anymore as far as budget guitars go. Okay, so here it is. This is the Leo Jaymz Popcaster. Came in your standard wedge-shaped box. Not a lot of padding in the box. There was a foam insert for the neck, and it was wrapped in the plastic bag that they put him in. It did survive the trip. I think Joe had some issues with his. Can't remember if he had some damage or whatnot, but they weren't packaged real incredibly secure. Not like the Firefly guitars where you get sort of the foam case that it sits in, which really protects it. Okay, let's get into the specs on this guitar. This is a Telecaster style guitar. It features a 25.5-inch scale length. The nut is a 1.687 plastic nut. It's a roasted maple neck and fretboard. It has abalone inlays, which I assume are acrylic. It's stainless steel frets with the ball rounded ends, locking tuners. It has El Nico 5 pickups in both the bridge and the neck, 3-way switch, knurled chrome knobs, 1 tone, 1 volume, string through the body design, belly contour and hand cutout for access to the upper frets, standard strap buttons, modern bent steel bridge with cast saddles, truss rod adjustment access in the heel of the neck, bent steel string trees, and it weighs in at 7.3 pounds. We've got a 1.687 nut width and a 2.066 width at the 12th fret. The body is mahogany. So I took it up to the shop and clamped down the strings so that I could remove the neck. Features your standard steel, chrome-plated steel neck plate with the plastic grommet, which I always remove. Semi-transparent finish on the back. Quilted maple veneer top, and it appears to have almost like a binding, maybe a maple binding around the edge of the top. Neck pocket looked pretty good. You can tell that it's some sort of mahogany. The neck is a roasted maple, as I said before. Really stylish logo on the neck. These are the acrylic abalone inlays, stainless steel frets. There's the heel, little offset screw holes there. We'll touch on that in a little bit. Cast steel housing for the tuners with brass gears, 18:1 tuning ratio. Steel screws for the neck. And removing the pickguard, this is a clear acrylic pickguard. Plastic knob on the three-way switch. And the chrome knobs have a plastic bushing inside. There's some kind of chrome plated steel because they do attract a magnet. Taking off the control plate, you can see that it's got dime size pots and a PCB three-way switch. And these are the Alnico pickups, and they've got some sort of shielding tape on the back of them. The bobbins are plastic. There's quite a bit of buffing compound inside the cavity there. Taking off the bridge. And the bridge, like I said, is some sort of steel, chrome-plated steel. And the saddles, I don't know if those are steel or what they're made out of. Could be zinc. And then this is the back of the bridge pickup, has that same copper strip on it. And then it's got the brass frame around it, not the plate. And as you can see, it's not wound very full. The bobbin isn't wound very full. This is another Alnico 5 pickup that I have that's wound quite a bit fuller, you can see. So I put everything back together. Okay, so then I just tuned it back up and check the frets to see if there were any dead frets. And when I got to the 20th and 21st frets, I had a little issue. And so I checked all the frets for level, and that's when I discovered that the 20th and 21st frets weren't seated properly. You can see there's quite a bit of rocking going on. So I just loosened the strings up, used some tape to kind of tape them up out of the way, and then used my fret hammer to pound them back down. And then checked them again to make sure that everything was flat, and then tuned the guitar up and adjusted the string height. The string heights, the low E was 2.75 and the high E was 2.25. After pounding that fret down, I was able to get them back to normal. So the guitar was out of the box. The action on it was set pretty high because of those frets were probably causing some buzzing when they tried to adjust it correctly. The low E out of the box was 2.75 inches and the high E was 2.25 inches. I like the low E to be around 2.25 to 2.5 and the high E to be 1.5 to 1.75. After pounding those frets down, I was able to lower the action so that it was correct. And the intonation was slightly off on the guitar out of the box. So I did adjust that to correct that. And then on to the pickup output. I measured both the inductance and the resistance. The inductance is in Henrys. The bridge measured at 2.27. Both pickups together was 1.15, and the neck pickup measured at 1.79. The ohms resistance was 14.9 for the bridge pickup and 7.08 for both pickups and 12.72 for the neck pickup. Okay, so then I brought it upstairs to check out how it sounds, so let's check that out. The first guitar is this guitar, and then I compared it to the Firefly Telecaster. Okay, so what are my final thoughts on this guitar and how does it hold up to, say, a Firefly Telecaster? So this guitar was $149.99 on Amazon, and of course if you have Prime you get free 2-day shipping on it. The Firefly guitar, Telecaster style guitar that I've had for a while now here, this usually goes for $229, but yet they go on sale quite a bit. So I got this one for, I think, $189, if I remember correctly. One thing you'll notice right off the bat is the Firefly has a really nice flamed roasted maple neck. I'd say the tuners on it are about the same, pretty much the same quality. Bone nut on the Firefly and same bent string trees. The Firefly has a rosewood fretboard and the same sort of abalone inlays, which are probably acrylic. Fit and finish on the neck is, I think, far better on the Firefly. A little bit nicer looking contours, a little bit better body shape programmed into the CNC. Firefly has the spoke wheel truss rod adjustment, which I like quite a bit better. And then a neat thing about the Fireflies, they're starting to use Wilkinson hardware. So that's a Wilkinson bridge and compensated brass saddles. The Firefly has full-size pots and it has a mechanical three-way switch. So right away you're getting quite a bit better components, internal components with the Firefly. And then for pickups, you have Alnico pickups in the Firefly, but they're made a little bit better, I think. Output-wise, they sound pretty similar. Okay, so you know, is the Leo Jaymz a better guitar than the Firefly? I'd say the Firefly edges the Leo Jaymz out a little bit, mainly because you get a little bit more sort of upgraded hardware with the Firefly. I think the body is a nicer looking body. Of course, the neck, you can't beat that flame maple neck, but you don't always get those on the Firefly guitars. Playability wise, I mean, the necks are pretty identical as far as the shape goes. And then I don't know, the body shape on this is just, that belly contour is just, I don't know what's going on there, but the maple top on this is really pretty. Just the way they set the neck in it is a little concerning, why those screws are so close to the edge of the neck there. So all in all, I think for the price, $149.99, this is a good guitar. The fact that, you know, it had that high fret on it and that the three-way switch wasn't working, which again, I don't know if that was something I did or if it came that way. Those two things kind of make me pause a little bit. So you have to be aware that if you buy one of these, you could run into some of those issues, but I don't know, you could run into those types of issues with any brand, even the Firefly guitars. Sometimes people will report that they get a bad guitar that they either have to send back or do work on. So a value for the money, I think, is pretty good. Just some questionable fit and finish issues with this one, but it sounds good, plays really well for a first guitar, or just something you want to beat up on, or you know, maybe even experiment with upgrading or whatnot. I think this would be a really good guitar for that. The thing is, these are available. A lot of criticism with the Firefly guitars is that they're not always available, which I think makes them kind of more attractive to people because they're not always available. So when they are, you kind of want to jump on that. And then one thing I want to point out is this wasn't a sponsored video. This was just something that I bought on my own because I saw it on Average Joe's Gear Talk and thought it was interesting. I really wanted to kind of compare it to the Firefly guitars because when I did the video where I took apart the Strat style Firefly guitar and I saw that the pickup said LJ on the back of them, I thought immediately Leo Jaymz. And so I half suspect that these and those guitars could be made by the same company. I don't know. The body on this one is definitely different and there's some issues there. So it's really hard to say. There's so many companies in China making guitars and I'm sure they all copy each other and they probably watch the channels and they know, you know, they know what people are talking about and the things that they want and the things that they like in the guitar. So it's really hard to say. But anyway, that's why I ended up getting this particular guitar. So thanks to everyone for tuning in. If you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing. Also, I do have a Patreon page, so if you're interested in joining that, try to keep exclusive content for members there, and we also give away guitars occasionally to the paid members. This might become one of those giveaways. Thanks again for tuning in, everybody. Jay Salen Guitar. We'll see you next time.